Welcome everyone to another 100% competition review. This time we're taking on the Illuminati in the Sgail. Now, usually I like to take them on one at a time. So usually I'll do the map first and then I'll do the targets. This time I'm gonna do the map and the targets at the same time because I just want to show you how dysfunctional they are when it comes to them working together. And just how insane they are when it comes to the map giving you a ton of potential in a ton of different ways that you should be able to take them down, but none of them ultimately work. So I'm gonna reveal that in a moment. Now, first thing I want to say before that though, I'm not rating this map based on looks or lighting or any of that stuff. I'm rating it based on gameplay. Silent Assassin Shoot only in particular. I also do take Sniper Assassin into consideration when I do this. Now, the way this map is created, because it's extremely overcrowded and oversaturated with guards and with NPCs, it has a very sort of Assassin's Creed style to it. And what I mean by that is you sort of have a lot of ledges and a lot of poles that are on the outside of the building, kind of like Dartmoor, that you're going to be using to get from point A to point B. To basically, that's the way that you're gonna be maneuvering the map. That's what you're gonna be using, right? And one good thing in particular that I can say about this map is that taking out the cameras is very simple. As you can see right here, I'm about to take them out from this position, but this is actually the hardest position. The much easier location is from the default start. As you climb up the pipe, head to the left and you can take out the cameras pretty much instantly. You're less than a minute in the map and the cameras are already taken down. So that is great. However, we come to another problem when it comes to the map functioning with the targets. Right here, this is a target, as you can see, making her way. Now, these are gas lamps. They can explode if basically somebody smokes a cigarette next to them. That's sort of the whole gimmick of the gas lamp. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of them. There's quite a lot of them. Do you know how many of them that you can see you can actually use? There's a cage right here that you can drop and you can kill somebody. Over here, you can explode both of these canisters. You can create an explosion. Right there, there's water on the ground and there's electricity, so you can shoot that and you can electrocute somebody, right? So that's another trap that you have that you can use to basically take somebody out. And right there, as you can see, there's this oil canister. You can shoot it once, oil's gonna pour out, then you shoot the oil on the ground and the target burns alive, right? Everybody should know this by now, how they work. Now, on the other side, there's another cage. You can't see it from here because it's in the other side, but there's another cage and there's a big canister filled with gas. And if you shoot it twice, it's gonna explode, right? So you have, from all of these things that I just showed you, right? From all of these potential ways to take the target out, I want you to take a guess. Right now, if you're watching this video right now, I want you to take a guess how many of them you can use to kill Zoe Washington. Sophia Washington never comes down, right? She's always on the top floors. She never comes down, but Zoe Washington is. And I want you to take a guess how many of them you can actually use to take her out. I'm gonna give you a moment. Take a guess. And the answer is 0. 0. From all that you saw, all of these things, all these canisters, 0. Not a single one of them is any use to you whatsoever. So why the fuck are they here, right? You have to think. So the map gives you all of these elimination opportunities. Not a single one of them is any good, right? So you have to think to yourself at some point, okay, why the fuck? Why is that? You know what I mean? We have all these opportunities that are given to us. Not a single one of them is actually any good. And that's when you sort of realize just how dysfunctional this map really is. Because even if you drop the main cage on Zoe Washington, which pretty much everybody has done playing through this map the first time because it's the easiest way to take care of her, you still have to use either some sort of an audio device or you have to basically shoot the wall underneath the cage from a distance to be able to take down Zoe Washington. She doesn't walk underneath it. So, in a way, you have 0 accident ways, naturally, to take down Zoe Washington. Even though it's filled from top to bottom, and I show you, it's filled from top to bottom with all types of different electrocutions, fires, explosions, all of these things, gas lamps, they're everywhere. Not a single one of them is any good because the way her route is created, not a single one of them can be exploited. She either doesn't go anywhere near them, or if she does go near them, there's also other pedestrians and quite a bit of them around her. So ultimately, they're no good. And when she goes inside, there are chandeliers, right, that are hanging. And you can use a chandelier to kill Sophia. However, with Zoe, yes and no, because you see, there is a chandelier, she doesn't go underneath it. However, in the treasure room, where the necklace is in the middle, right? She does go near the necklace, and there's a gigantic chandelier that's on top of it. The problem with using that strategy is as soon as you shoot the chandelier, you're gonna take down 2 to 3 non-targets as well, because she doesn't go alone. She doesn't just go and check it out on her own. No, she's surrounded by people at all times. So there's no natural ways to take her down with accident kills, and when it comes down to isolating her, that's not necessarily well done either. Isolating these targets is very, very, very difficult. You're gonna see through this playthrough right now that's running that I was able to isolate them both. It is doable, but it's extremely difficult because, as I said earlier, the map is so damn overcrowded with people. You would think that for a map about a secret society, you wouldn't have 500 people all over the damn place, but you do, and everything's a trespassing zone. Both targets are constantly, non-stop in a trespassing zone. Just like in Colorado, if you want to get close to your targets, you have to be in a trespassing zone. That doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing, but this time it is, just because you have so little opportunity to move around. It's far too overcrowded. So when it comes down to a final score, I think the map is very well made. I think the map is designed very well, as I've shown you. So I would give the map an 8 out of 10, despite the fact that it is extremely overcrowded. However, for the targets themselves, the best I can give them is a 7 out of 10. That's the best I can give them because yes, they are isolatable. Yes, there is some things you can do with them, but overall they're just awkwardly made, and that's really the end of it. They're just awkwardly made. They don't fit into the map. They feel like they were sort of a last moment's notice rushed, and you're gonna see also from the challenges coming up next how little assassination opportunities you really have for accident kills, other than mission stories that is basically you doing all the work. Next, we're gonna get off to the challenges. Now, mistaken identity is the first one we're gonna start with. This is a mission story, so it's not too difficult to do. All you have to do is follow the mission story. And there's another that basically wants you to do it with Sophia Washington instead. It's a little bit more difficult because there's no natural way to do it. A lot of times you're better off just running to her and just taking her down and forgetting about something else and just getting the challenge done. This is very difficult. It requires the constant. Basically, you have to give the blueprints for the chip that he has in his neck to the constant, and then he's gonna talk to Sophia in private. And that's when you can basically push this gargoyle on top of her. The blood money one, this is a blood money reference. Basically, you gotta dress up as the old guy who's dead and tell him to start it. This is again the constant. You have to wait for their conversation to end with Sophia and then push Sophia off as she's standing there. Here, all you have to do is basically take down the constant. You have to take him down with either just choking him out. Anyway, just take him down without killing him or scare him, and then when he goes away, kill the rest of the targets. This is another mission story. I believe this has to do when you take the guy, what was his name? The guy with the skull mask, who is basically against Sophia. You have to take his disguise, and when you go talk to her, she's gonna lead you there. This takes an extremely long amount of time, and is very difficult to do. Boom goes the dynamite. But yeah, Little White Lies. Here, basically, you have to overcharge the electricity. There's a puddle of water where Zoe's gonna be standing, I believe. So then all you have to do is lie, and then she's gonna increase the electricity, and that's gonna kill her. Blood Eagle. Unnecessary as fuck. I believe you have to go all the way to the top to be able to get the axe. Although I don't remember exactly where I got the axe from, the Viking axe. I remember it was very difficult to find. I had to really look for it, but this is just one of those things where they were just trying to fit assassinations in because they just had no other options. They were like, well, what can we do? We have to have some assassinations, so they just put it in there. This is easy enough. I mean, by this point, everybody should have it. This is another one that's just basically, what do? We have no real assassinations, so they just threw that. Here, again, this is easy. Take the blueprint. This is the disguise, Jebediah Blow. This is what I was talking about, the skull mask. This is what you need. Steal the necklace. This is difficult to do. Pretty difficult. You might have to restart a couple of times before you're able to do it, because the guards go kind of crazy, and you have to kind of get lucky to be able to take it. Village area. This is simple enough to do. Now the next one, Swan Dive. This is Assassin's Creed. Remember earlier when I said this map has a lot of Assassin's Creed references? This is the biggest one. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to do this challenge. This is a very difficult and very lengthy challenge to do. I'm not going to go into detail because there's videos out there that is going to explain things, but let me just say this is a very, very lengthy challenge. And ultimately, you just end up diving off a cliff like they do in Assassin's Creed when they basically, spread out their arms and do the dive into the haystacks. It's the same sort of Easter egg it's meant to be. Exit via helipad, this is just exits here. And then here you just have to use your crowbar to open up a bunch of stuff. This is a mission story, this is simple enough. Nothing too crazy. This will take about 30 tokens. You can steal them from the female village idiot, basically. She also has some. This is a mission story. It's simple enough. You just follow the mission stories. They're easy to do. And there's not much detail to go into them. I don't remember them. Dead Man Walking. This is, again, mission story. Now here, you basically do this at the same time that you kill Zoe first, and then you kill Sophia this one. Again, another mission story. This is difficult. This is more difficult than it looks. Now, serve Sophia poisoned food. Sophia, she has to be happy to take the poisoned food. You can't just take the disguise, poison the food, and give it to her. It doesn't work like that. You have to make her happy to be able to give her, because otherwise she doesn't want to eat. So that's another thing they don't tell you. And this takes time to do. This is not simple. It looks simple, but trust me, it is not. Next one is Jebediah Block. You gotta basically, when you're dressed up as Jebediah Block, you have to agree with Sophia Washington. And when you agree with Sophia Washington, she's gonna have a toast with you. And then you just poison the toast, and that's that. Great balls of fire, unnecessary, but it is what it is. Now you see me. This, I believe, was when you did the explosion, when she goes into the fire thing, Zoe does. Here, all you have to do is tell the truth. Instead of lie, you just have to tell the truth, and they're gonna give you the costume. You just have to be honest instead. Going solo. So there's a room near where the musicians are, where you take the disguise, and then you just have to kill the musicians in this disguise. It's a very unnecessary challenge. You can see that at this point they were just running at, like, what can we put in this freaking map? Mission story. I don't need to explain mission stories because they basically explain themselves. Switcheroo. So here, remember when I talked about stealing the necklace? You have to have an apricot on you, and you have to basically steal the necklace and switch it with an apricot before the security is turned on again, and basically it's shielded. And that's sort of the idea. In my opinion, it's ridiculous, but that's what you're doing. You're switching the necklace with an apricot when you steal it. That's the point. And it's not easy to do, as I said earlier. Definitely not easy to do. Again, this is a part of your mission story, but this time you just don't do anything. Rude Awakening. So this is from Blood Money reference. You just have to get up and basically pretty much get gunned down. Couldn't resist. Again, when you take down one of the targets, they drop it, you use it to kill the constant, you get the challenge. This is another with the mission stories. Here you have to escort the constant. This is simple enough. Here you have to take the fish. This is very difficult. Why is it difficult? Because the fish, the only fish that I know of, I may be wrong, but the only fish that I know of is in a freezer. And the freezer is located near where the electrocution chair is. And basically there's a cell with a hole in it, and you have to go through the hole in the cell to get to the freezer to take the fish. And then you gotta make your way all the way around. I have no idea why this challenge exists. I have no clue. It exists, but I don't know why. But that's how you're supposed to do it. You gotta take a fish from the freezer that's located near the electrocution chair. Very ridiculous challenge. As you can see, by this point, the challenges are not very smart. Another mission story. From Russia Without Love, this is a distraction, a coin distraction. Basically, you put a coin near the trophy, and then you have to make a coin distraction there, and that's how you do it. This is escalations. You know, they're self-explanatory. You just go into them and complete them. Spade Night. 10 people with a shovel. This is, again, you can tell they were running out of ideas, but this takes time. This is not fun to do. For me personally, it wasn't that much fun because 32 feats is way too many, especially when they're not well made and not well designed. But again, this is a stupid challenge. It's not difficult to do, but it's very time-taking. Now, for the eggs, to be able to get the filigree eggs, I believe they are in the containers. So you have to have a crowbar to unlock them. And you basically take them, and then you have to knock people out with them. It's a ridiculous challenge, just like the previous one. It takes a long time to do because you have to get them. Access denied. Basically, here you just drop this the door on top of them, and then when a person goes to check on them, you have to press it again. You're gonna lose Silent Assassin 100%, but this is not what this is about. You just basically have to wait for them to come check on the guards' bodies, and then when you pull it, it should also kill them, the person who came to check, and that should unlock the challenge for you. But yeah, overall the challenges, in my opinion, I would give them a 4 out of 10, because not only are they not fun to do, but they're very difficult and very type-taking. So 4 out of 10 below average, and I'll definitely not do them again. And now we're off to the unlocks, starting off with this mace. It's a non-lethal melee in the game. In real life, it's as lethal as you can get, but in the game, it's non-lethal. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to hold. Also, I'm pretty sure you can't hide it on yourself. You need a briefcase for it, so overall, it's pretty much hopeless. Then we're off to the lethal syringe, NK2. Lethal syringe, great tool, exceptionally useful. Can't say anything bad about it. By this point, you should, at least for me, I have already 4 lethal syringes, so I can't say it's the most useful just because I have so many versions of a lethal syringe. But if you don't have a lethal syringe, this is a phenomenal unlock. I can't say anything bad about it. Feather Duster, it's a non-lethal melee that you can hide on yourself. Every time you hit somebody in the head, feathers fly off. Some people are big fans of that. I personally am not the biggest fan in the world, but some people like it. Electronic Key Hacker, this is a great unlock, especially for maps like Hokkaido, maps like the Bank. It's also useful for other maps like Mumbai, maps like Berlin, Dubai. It can be useful for all types of maps depending on the playthrough you're doing. So it is a great unlock. There's only 3 in total that you can unlock, and this is one of them. So it's definitely worth it to have it. I can't say anything bad about it. Then we're off with the Sgail 300 Tactical. This is a great sniper rifle. It's silenced. It has a good zoom. It has a good scope. You can slow down time. Overall, sniper rifles right now are not the most optimal, the most useful weapons. But if you want to bring a sniper rifle, this sniper rifle will do you well. You know, it's a very decent sniper rifle. Then we're off with the briefcase. Briefcase is very useful. You can carry your sniper rifle, you can carry shotguns, you can carry you can carry another pistol. You can carry pretty much anything, and it's a very, very useful unlock. You can have the emetic gas device to create the firing briefcase. It's a pretty decent unlock. I can't say anything bad about it. The broadsword. This is about as unoptimal as you can go. It's a lethal melee, clearly because it's a sword, but to be honest, I'm not even sure if you can hide it in a briefcase. I don't remember. I think I've brought it one time in my entire playthrough, like ever, and I don't remember how I did it. Not useful by any stretch. There's much better lethal melees out there. A silenced shotgun. This is good, and I'll tell you why. Because there's certain escalations, and there's certain feature contracts that a silenced shotgun is gonna do you very, very well. It has its purposes. It has its uses. It will go through doors. It will, just blast doors wide open. So it is, in my opinion, it's a good unlock. Although you can't hide it on yourself, you do need a briefcase if you want to be in public with it. In my opinion, still that doesn't change the fact that it is a decent unlock and has its uses. Then we're off to the concussion rubber duck. I believe I've used it only a couple of times for here and there for some feature contracts or escalations. Overall, it's not the most useful of unlocks, but just like the shotgun, it has its purposes. There are times where you will need it for certain things, or that it will do you good. So overall, if I had to rate the unlocks, I will give the unlocks a very good 8 out of 10. I think, although nothing in here is like extremely spectacular, it's a combination of a lot of really good things that overall will do you good and will allow you to be more prepared for different situations. Next, we're off to the stability, and for me personally, I haven't found any real problems with the stability of this map. Sometimes, you throw a coin and it's kind of weird to know which NPC is going to respond to it, and it's different, it's a little inconsistent, but that's not necessarily a problem of the map, in my opinion, because that's always the case, usually. Now, I did go online and I did look for other players' experiences, and I did find some bugs that they've reported. I did go into the game and try to replicate those bugs to see if they're still there. And from my personal, tries, I was not able to replicate any of the bugs, which means they either all got fixed, or at least on the Epic Games where I'm playing, they're not present there, because I really, really did try to replicate them as closely as I could to what I was shown in the videos. So as far as stability is concerned, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, no problems whatsoever. It's pretty damn good. Now, I also want to say, I know this has been a little bit of a lengthy video, but I just wanted to get as much information in as I possibly could, which is why I didn't cut any corners, and I just went all out to just show you as much of this map as possible and give you as much information as possible. Also, I'm sorry if there was some audio problems here and there, for the simple reason that there was noise outside. and for a couple of seconds there might have been some disruptions in the audio. There wasn't much I can do about it this time. Also, when it comes to the final score, we basically combine the numbers and we get a 3.7 out of 5. Just good enough. The map, I don't hate it. I don't love it in particular either. It is a decent map, but I can't say that IO has been able to really hit it off with it. I think IO has done some new things with this map, some innovations like the optional objective, like, the scaling on the outside, which will return in Dartmoor. However, at the same time, it does have some misfires with the overcrowded amount of people, with the targets being very difficult to isolate. It's a mixed bag, this map. Some people love it, some people hate it, but as far as I'm concerned, this is my review of it. If you enjoyed, please do drop a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you very much for watching.